Hi, hello.
Hello. I was wondering, my name is Ariza, by the way. As a fellow European, I was asking, don't you think that there's a better way to establish democracy? Like, do you really think that America is the best democracy that we've ever had?
In the history of human civilization, yes.
But something like, I don't know, like Scandinavian countries maybe. Don't you think that they have better type of democracy than we do?
Yeah, people sometimes say this, and I think that Norway, for instance, doesn't really have an economy because there's so many, such abundant natural resources. It doesn't make much sense to praise them in economic terms. But these countries are socialist. These are countries where there are higher property taxes for houses that have sea views. These are countries that control every aspect of your life and will excise you from public service and from the public square if you don't subscribe to a narrow set of allowable opinions. The reason Sweden, which is often held up as an example of good governance in a well-ordered country, as I think your question was suggesting. I mean, it is only a democracy just about, vaguely. It's technically a democracy. But in Sweden, the reason this country's got itself into so much trouble, the reason Sweden has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of immigrants that it cannot cope with, is the stultifying political correctness that takes hold in socialist countries. And the fact that if you are a Swede, and you, until very, very recently, and even now if you work in the arts or anywhere, if you even broached the subject of immigration, you would be castigated as a racist, fired from your job, and cast out of polite society. It's difficult for me, hearing people praise these supposedly wonderful Scandinavian nations, to look out on them and to look at the narrow range of acceptable opinions when you compare it to somewhere like America, and praise them in any way whatsoever. So I have to tell you no. I can't think of a better example than America of a country that is still, by and large, pretty free. Scandinavia is in a real mess, and it's in a real mess precisely because it has not. Its voters haven't voted for freedom; they voted for stultifying control from their governments. There was probably a little while when Scandinavian countries were doing okay, but they're not anymore. And America, by and large, is still all right.
Thank you.
Thanks.